Well, winter's here, and what I've tried to do here on Indian Trace lately is some display videos, and what great comments. And I know for some guys out there it means a lot just to be able to see some of this great stuff. It's wouldn't be seen unless we had this porthole, if you will. Just a couple pieces of smoky quartz right here. A couple of the best pieces of my collection. This piece started it a couple nights ago, and I was really thinking about things in terms of the very best. Listen to this: the very best quartz points that I have around the 2-inch range or so. 1.5 to 2 inch range. The very best quartz points I have. Now, they're at a ratio of 1 to 4 or even 1 to 5 to rhyolite and variated materials. So I want to talk about these and show you these because if you find something all the time where you are, whether it's even red jasper or obsidian, or down in Louisiana, dirt flipping Cajun finds this orangish brownish flint that's really awesome. Well, if that's what you find, you take it for granted. Human nature does. So these last couple videos, especially the crystal one I just posted, and this one, is my greatest attempt to show it and not take it for granted, to try to feel like, in a sense, I never find it. To find out, based on what has been shared, what you guys have said about how rare it is where you are, and give you an up close, almost where you can almost touch it. I mean, look at this piece, will you? So I might as well start. I was blown away. It was about the only piece I found that day. It happens so often. But it was the Daymaker at the Bear. This piece of smoky quartz. Now, I only put 2 pieces of smoky quartz in here. I didn't really feature it. Here's another one from Beaver Point. Just a stellar piece. This piece is an early find. But it just, and I didn't even know how important or how great quality it was when I found it. Only you guys, in sharing with me about quartz and its difficulty in working it, have let me know, how exceptional, how much of a master these guys were in making things. That's why I want to show you what I have. I've taken it for granted, but I think we all do in some aspects in many different areas in our lives. I think it makes for a good life where we can work at not taking things for granted. Anyway, let's go around this circle. I'm checking my time. I know I have a limited time. Go around clockwise. Hey, look at these 2 points at the bottom. This is going to be a really cool video, so hang in there. These 2 pieces, gosh, they are milky quartz, but they are fantastic. They were found both at Notchville. This was found at Notchville 2, and this is found at Notchville 1. About 100 yards difference, 150 yards difference. You want to think, wow, maybe the same human being made them. Maybe, I'm sure he made many. Overexposure, there we go. But look at these 2. They weren't found next to each other, but they were in the same area. And it makes you wonder sometimes, doesn't it? All I know is that whoever's making these things, and there's a lot of points up here from Notchville, so keep an ear out when I mention where they're from. That just the workmanship is crazy. So as I go around here, here's a piece from, I think this is the easement. Just a great piece. You can see how they use the rock and work with it for this quartz. Seeing these pieces in a different way today. I do have myself timed. A fairly recent point here from the archaic. It is all of over 3 inches in this notch. I mean, this is crazy. And I thought it was a Guilford at first when I saw it in there. But no, they did put some notches on it, and just made a point of it, I guess. That's fine with me. Especially for those who love notch points, right? Stellar piece from the archaic. Here's another piece from a new area that I found this year. Over off the back of the plateau. And can't complain about that. That was on footage, but it's found its place. And look at the base, just great workmanship. That's a favorite. Look at this piece. Early piece of the Vulture. Give you its profile. The lighting today was just too good, and it's winter time, so this is a good way to pass the time. And you know, how on earth otherwise are we going to just get a perspective of what one another's collections are? You know, I don't get to go to the artifact shows and what have you, but this is a good way to show it. This is actually greenish, tannish quartz. Look at this triangle, will you? Crazy piece, 1.25 inches. Just fantastic workmanship. Well, that's the bad exposure. There we go. Let's try that. Great piece. It is worked right off the back, so that's a full piece. Interesting piece. Again, here's a piece from Notchville. Masters of Quartz at Notchville. Because here's another from Notchville. Fantastic. Now this one. This is a piece from a place that's really difficult to get to for me. Far and away, one of the very best quartz pieces I have, if you can see it. Windy Point gave me that. And that's just nothing short of phenomenal. I found that under the tread of a combine. Didn't even touch the hardness of this thing. Crazy. Here we go. Look at this, almost a double-notched point from the Cove. Spectacular, huh? Hardness rating on this stuff. Here's another point that blew me away from Notchville. Super unique point. Ancient Indian artifacts. A lot of you guys, as well as myself, we maintain and protect, I think, some of the most pristine, authentic collections anywhere. It's hard for me to believe that people can make and produce fakes and try to pawn them off as real. It's just so self-defeating. I don't know. Look at this thing from Saponi. I can't comprehend even having anything that's not real and thinking it was. I don't know the mentality behind that. It's just ridiculous. Because to me, there's so much of this great stuff out there anyway. Look at that point, will you? That's a Saponi point. That's stellar, isn't it? Here's a great point. Again, this is from Windy Point. The workmanship here is from the same place that this one's from. It's a nice day today in North Carolina, though, about 50 or so, and I just decided I wouldn't go out. I got a place that I know I might be able to find something, but it would take a lot of walking to check it out. I've been there quite a few times over in Mecca and Stonehill. Great point. Now, as we finish up here, excuse me, look at this point. Sand Passage, new place for this calendar year, if you will. But it puts out this kind of workmanship, and this smooth right here, worked off. Sturdy, strong, awesome point, I would say. Of course, that jumps right into one of my favorites. A couple more, we're finished. I mean, look at this piece. This piece was found in an area that I've never found anything else. You know, it was just a passing by point over near here, but the site just never developed. I went there many times. But look at the workmanship on this thing. What they could do in eastern North Carolina for quartz. Why I love quartz, right? Which was my thought for a video the other day, and I just couldn't get to it. I guess they got to the place where they could work it just as good as some of the flints you guys find. Here's one of my favorites, right here to finish. before it cuts me off. It's nice, isn't it? It's funny because they really took the rock and did with it what they could and what it would give them, but made a beautiful point out of it. To me, it is not rough. It is well made altogether. Just so unique, strong, perfect in every way. Just shows they could just take that rock and make out of it what they could. Fantastic displays. Anyway, my time's up. Before I get cut off, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to Indian Trace. Just love that point. So these were my very best. And if you do go out, I hope you find out there. Thanks for tuning in to Indian Trace.